The laughter, the music, the clinking of glasses. It all blurred together as I stood outside the banquet hall, one hand resting on the polished wooden door. My chest tightened, not with nerves, but with the heavy calm of a man who had already decided how the night would end. For months, I had lived in silence, pretending not to notice the lies, the late nights, the secretive whispers of my wife. But silence had its limits. Tonight, I had chosen to break it. I glanced at the woman standing beside me, Evelyn. Elegant in her navy blue dress, her chin lifted with the poise of someone who had once believed in fairy tales, only to discover that monsters wore familiar faces. She was the wife of the man my wife was sleeping with. She, too, had been fed excuses about work meetings and long drives home, until a stray message on a phone pulled the mask from her husband's face. We were two betrayed souls bound by the same wound. "You ready?" I asked her softly. Evelyn's eyes hardened. "More than ready." With that, I pushed the door open. The room fell silent. The chatter of businessmen, the laughter of women dressed in jewels, the string quartet in the corner. It all stopped the moment we stepped inside. Dozens of eyes turned toward us, curiosity flickering into confusion, then into the kind of hushed tension that fills a room when everyone senses that something real, something unscripted, is about to happen. And then there she was, my wife Claire. She stood near the center of the room, dazzling in a red gown that clung to her every curve. Her glass of champagne was midair when her eyes met mine, and in that frozen second, I saw her world shatter. Her smile faltered. Her fingers trembled. Because standing next to me was Evelyn, her lover's wife. I walked forward slowly, the echo of my shoes on marble sounding louder than any applause could. Every step drew the guests into deeper silence, their eyes darting between me, Claire, and Evelyn. Claire's face flushed, her lips parting as if to speak, but no words came. "You look surprised, darling," I said, my voice calm, almost too calm. She blinked rapidly, forcing a shaky smile. What are you doing here? You said you had work tonight." "I did," I replied smoothly. But then I thought, what kind of husband would I be if I missed a party thrown by his own wife? A murmur rippled through the guests. Evelyn stepped closer, her hand brushing mine. Not as a lover, but as an ally. Claire's eyes widened, panic seeping through her mask. "Evelyn," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Yes, Claire," Evelyn said coldly. "It's me. Did you think I wouldn't find out? Did you think my husband's lies wouldn't unravel eventually?" The air grew thick. Guests shifted uncomfortably, some pretending to sip their drinks, others openly watching as if it were theater. Claire shook her head, her voice trembling. "It's not what you think." I cut her off. "Don't insult us both by pretending. We know. Everyone in this room deserves to know what kind of woman you are, Claire. The devoted wife, the gracious hostess, while all the while sneaking behind my back with another woman's husband." Gasps filled the room. A few women exchanged whispers, men shook their heads. Claire's carefully built reputation was crumbling before her eyes. Her voice turned desperate. "Please, not here, not like this." I leaned in, my words low enough for her, but sharp enough for those nearby to hear. "This is exactly where. You humiliated me in silence. Tonight, I return the favor in truth." Evelyn stepped forward, her voice icy and strong. "And let me be clear, Claire. You didn't just betray him, you betrayed me. I was the wife who believed every excuse, who trusted my husband when he said you were just a friend. You took that trust and laughed behind my back." Claire's face twisted, shame fighting with fury. She looked at me, pleading now. "We can talk about this later, please, just not here. I still love you." I straightened, looking at her with the calm of a man who had already let go. "Love. No, Claire. Love doesn't hide in hotel rooms. Love doesn't lie in whispers. Love doesn't destroy two marriages for the thrill of secrecy." Silence hung heavy, broken only by the clink of a glass someone set down too hard. Claire's eyes glistened, but the tears couldn't save her. She had lost the one thing she thought she controlled, appearance. I looked around the room, meeting the gazes of the silent crowd. I walked in tonight not to fight, not to plead, but to set myself free. Consider this the end of my marriage, and the beginning of her exposure. Evelyn nodded, her own closure found in the fire of truth. She turned toward the guests. And as for my husband, he'll come home to locked doors tonight. Claire's knees buckled slightly, her hand gripping the edge of the table beside her. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. For the first time, she had nothing to say. I placed my wedding ring on the nearest tray of hors d'oeuvres. Its metallic clink louder than the quartet could ever play. Keep it, I told her coldly. You'll need something to remember me by. Then, without another glance, I offered my arm to Evelyn. She took it, her dignity intact, and together we walked out the same way we had walked in, slowly, deliberately, leaving Claire in a room full of eyes she could no longer charm. The music didn't resume. The whispers didn't stop. The silence we left behind was louder than any truth spoken aloud. Outside, the night air was sharp, cool against my burning chest. Evelyn exhaled. A sound that was half a laugh, half a sob. Well, she said, that was something. It was necessary, I replied. She nodded, and for a brief moment, we shared a quiet understanding. Two people broken by betrayal, but bound by the strength it took to expose it. The party would continue without us, but Claire's mask had been ripped away forever. She had never seen it coming. And I had never felt freer.